let's talk about this word, 나름. Now, this actually has two uses. One of its uses is to mean it depends on. And I've done a separate lesson about that, which I'll link in the video description if you'd like to learn more. But this lesson today is not going to be about that. But I will give you a really quick summary of that first. So you take a noun and you attach 나름, or if you have a verb, you can change it into a noun by attaching 기 to the verb stem and then attaching 나름. So like 하다 would become 하기 나름, and then you'll finish the sentence by attaching the verb 이다, meaning to be. So like 이에요, for example. But it doesn't just mean depending on, because there are other ways that you would say that normally, but it means more like this thing is the main deciding factor in making a decision. So it's not just like saying it depends on, but it's kind of more like saying it all depends on. Okay, so that's all for this. If you'd like to see some examples or learn a little bit more, check out the link in the description, but we're gonna be talking about more of a common usage for this. So 나름 has a second, more common usage to mean in its own way. But before we talk about this, I first need to say thank you to my Patreon members and all of my channel supporters right here. Because without all of your support, I really couldn't do this channel. So thank you. And if you would also like to join to help support me to make more videos and more content like these, please check out the links in the video description box below for how you can either join my Patreon channel or YouTube memberships right here. Okay, so 나름, I said that it means in its own way. So that means that this actually isn't used as a grammar form, but it's really just used as an adverb. And you'll see it used in two ways. You'll see it used as 나름 by itself, or you'll also see it used as 나름대로. Now, when it's being used to mean it depends on, it's just going to be 나름. But when it's used to mean in its own way, you'll see it used as both of these. 나름 is a little bit more common in everyday conversations, and 나름대로 is a little bit more emphatic, but you'll hear both. However, when you are talking about things related to yourself, it's more common to use this one. So I can't really give you a shortcut. I can't just say use this one because it's more common, but use this one if you're talking about yourself and use this one for other people and other things. So if you use this one, it's kind of like saying, in my own way, I did something well, for example. So in its own way is kind of its literal meaning, but a more natural translation, when you're using this just to talk about general things in your everyday situations, it means all things considered. And because it has that meaning, just like we would say in English, it's used typically with positive meanings. And it's a pretty common adverb, and you're going to hear it fairly often. So let me clear this off and I'll give you a couple examples. So if someone's doing well, for example, 우리는, like we are doing well, then you could say this sentence, 나름 잘 지내고 있어요. Normally just 잘 지내고 있어요 means that you're doing well, but if you add 나름, it means like, yeah, you know, all things considered, we're doing pretty good. Or you can say 나름 괜찮았어요. So 괜찮았어요, it was okay. All things considered, it was okay. Or you can say 나름 재밌었어요. So 재밌었어요, it was fun. For example, 영화가, the movie was fun. All things considered, it was kind of fun. And one more tip. I said that this is a pretty common word. You don't even have to really translate it as all things considered. In fact, I don't want you to translate it as all things considered when you're translating it. It actually doesn't really need to translate. Most of the time when you see it, it just translates as that nuance. So if you see a sentence like this, 나름 재밌었어요, you don't have to translate it as all things considered, it was fun. You can just translate it as it was pretty fun. In fact, to better convey the feeling that this word has, I'm gonna show you something. It's not a word, but if you're a native English speaker or if you're familiar with English, most of you are, you should understand exactly the feeling that I'm going to show you. Did you catch that? 나름 재밌었어요. It was fun. That's the feeling that this word has. And now maybe you can understand why it's so commonly used. So hopefully that helps. Or in our other examples, we had 괜찮았어요. It was okay. You can be like, it was okay. Or our first example, we're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well. So anyway, you don't need to translate this one, just hopefully you understand now what its literal meaning is and how it feels. Okay, so where else have you seen this adverb used before? Let me know in the comments. I'm interested to read those. Also, thank you again to my Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members, and I'll see you again right here in another video. 그럼 다음에 또 봐!